Take me out to the ball game. Jay's up 3-2. It's coming home.
Don't quit your day job. Don't ever do that again. And you're supposed to finish it.
I need auto-tune, that's for sure. If I'm gonna
Jays. Oh man, exciting time for Toronto. Exciting time for Blue Jays. Exciting time for baseball in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Man, to go to LA and convincingly beat up on the Dodgers the way they did.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3, and last game slapped them.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it was It was dirty. What a way to show the Dodgers coming back to Toronto. It's not going to be easy.
Nope.
And the Jays are only heating up, and the World Series is coming to Toronto, and I can't believe it. 30 years later, and it's coming back to the city.
It's insane. And you know what's it's crazy, man. He was playing
Jays
in the minors. He was in the minors 6 months ago, and now he's pitching, throwing 12 strikeouts in a World Series game.
That's a great example of team chemistry. I think the Jays exemplifies team unity and how important that extra man is, and that's the team bonding that they have. They all get along with each other. You could see like there's a respect there for each other. And they're enjoying it. They're just
loving it, man.
Yeah,
they're having so much fun, and they're such a likable team. This team is like full of people or athletes who were like downtrodden or looked past or faced adversity. Like every single one of them has a story of how they came up from nothing.
Exactly.
And they're so like all the characters from Vlad to Ernie Clement to Yasavage from yesterday, man. Like,
and speaking about Vlad, if you look at his body language when he plays. Look at his passion.
Yeah.
And he's not ego driven. Like you can see like he's one of the guys. Like he knows how to just make everybody feel comfortable, welcoming, and man, he's just easy to be a fan of.
Easy to be. I'm sure he's like one of the best teammates ever too, because he's also on the other side. He's so clutch and he's so locked in. Whenever he goes to the plate, like it's his world, and he's got swagger now. Mm-hmm. It's such a likable team, man. And if they win you're gonna go on Friday.
I'm definitely gonna be there. To support the Jays and to witness a World Series.
If they win, are you gonna be part in the streets?
Oh yeah, man! I remember '93. I was watching it at my friend. It was his birthday. He had a little birthday celebration. We all left the celebration. We all drove down to Toronto to celebrate for the Jays. But we want to always say, if we're celebrating, just be respectful of other people's businesses and shops. Don't go too crazy.
Yeah, of course.
Enjoy it in good fun. But man, it's unbelievable. It's great to see that TFC shifted it with the first win. Then Raptors won. Now the Jays win.
Don't even mention it.
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
We'll stop right there. Who knows?
Leave it alone.
Maybe
Leave it alone.
We looked okay last year, but we'll see. We'll see.
Not a good start. The only reason nobody gives a crap about the Leafs right now is because the Jays are so good. So it's kind of like putting a smoke screen up, I guess, right?
Exactly.
But in more surprising news, you're away for a week, and all of a sudden, Man U wins 3 games in a row.
And that's what you want to see. Man U. Yes, we're looking like Man U. I said didn't earn the right to be called Man U, Manchester United, but this is what we need to see from you. Yeah. So can we continue to see this kind of good run in form? Can we continue to see a team that's committed, that's playing every game like their lives depend on it? Don't get in a position now where you take your foot off the pedal and then you start going backwards again. So we want to see the Man U. I said it. We've said it openly. The game needs a good Man U.
It's better when they're good.
It's a global brand. Yeah. It's a team that has so much rich history, and I think the game is good when Man United is doing well.
Manchester, we got to start calling them by their full name as long as they're winning games.
Right.
Nah, man, the vibe looks fantastic around there. Everybody's happy. I've seen Ruben Amorim smile for the first time in like 3 months.
3 wins in a row. How are you not smiling?
Beating Liverpool as well in a game that we thought, like when we were talking about that game, like they got us on record saying like they should be worried, they should be praying. Liverpool are licking their chops. Like now Liverpool losing 6 out of 7, Man U winning 3 on the spin. What a changeup! What a changeup! And guys like Brian Mbuemo scoring. Sesko's looking great. Like the vibe around the team is great. It's for the first time in a really long time. And hopefully, like, they're playing Nottingham Forest this weekend, who are not a good team at the moment in their own controversy. It could be 4.
Yeah, it should be 4.
It should be 4.
It should be 4. And, the way the Prem is looking right now, it's all over the place.
It's a jungle
at the top. Yeah. It makes for exciting football because there's no, like, you can't predict who's going to win and who's going to show up to play. But to see Liverpool go from first to and Man City drop to 7th to 8th.
I can't believe it. I can't believe the slide they're on right now.
That's scary. Scary.
When we did our last episode, it was what? It was 3 in a row on the spin.
Yeah.
And then it was 4 in a row with four in a row with Man United. Then they had a Champions League win. And now we're looking at them. They just lost yesterday in the Carabao Cup to Crystal Palace. Decent team, but they should be winning that game. And now it's 6 losses in 7. I can't imagine the pressure on the manager, Arne Slot. They don't look good. They don't look cohesive. What are your thoughts? Like, how does this team get out of this slump? Let me remind you, they spent £450 million on transfers this summer.
Yeah, again, it's kind of one of those things where, because you're buying talent doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a good team. It's putting them together. It takes time for the players to gel, whether or not they do or they don't, whether you have to reevaluate their purchases. But again, I will say equally, as we said about Manchester United, is that we cannot afford to see Liverpool and we cannot afford to see Man City in the positions they are right now. It shouldn't be with the salary that they have, with the players that they have, the quality that they have. I definitely see a turnaround, but to see them both struggling at the same time, it's really unheard of. And they need to get it together real fast.
It opens up the league, really. I mean, if you look at the top 8 right now, you got teams like Bournemouth in there.
Yeah,
you got
second.
teams like Sunderland in 4th. Yeah. Tottenham are 3rd. So I like it in that respect, and especially
it's exciting for the football. You don't know what to predict.
Totally, especially for a team like Sunderland who just got promoted. Like, these early points are going to keep them in the league, and that's great because I want to see a team like Sunderland in the league. But then again, like, who it opens it up for is Arsenal, right here, because if they don't take advantage of the situation they're in, and they currently are doing that, like, they could win the league this year. It's theirs to lose at this point, I think.
Let's go. Let's do it.
It's exciting.
It looks promising for them. I think they're 5 points clearing first right now.
Yeah.
So, a win this weekend, they could jump, as we've seen in the past. Once that team in the front starts to slip away a little bit,
it's hard to get back.
It's hard to get back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Premier League is highly contested right now, and just like another highly contested affair that happened this past weekend, El Clasico.
I know.
This match
Let's not talk too much about it.
This match, unfortunately, we're gonna be taking it on head on. Moral of the story: this game ended 2-1. Real Madrid beat Barcelona at the Bernabeu. Mbappe and Bellingham on the score sheet for Madrid. It was a good game, I would say, and then tempers, obviously the biggest story was tempers were flaring right at the end, provoked by the Lamine Yamal comments, which we'll get into later. But right now, what are your thoughts on the match? What does this mean for Barcelona? Obviously, Real Madrid now go 5 points ahead of Barca, and we just talked about sometimes when those top teams pull away, it's hard to get back in a league like that.
Exactly.
You don't know.
Yeah, it was a devastating blow to Barca. For me, it was more so the fact that in my opinion, they got played off the park.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Real Madrid, they tried to play the high line. They tried to put them under pressure. And with the speed that Real Madrid has, it could easily expose them. I do like that Barca way with the high line, but you got to be mindful of where you are. You got to be mindful. Sometimes a draw isn't all that bad. Sometimes squeezing out an ugly win isn't all that bad. Mm-hmm. But I thought for Real Madrid, they did exactly what they went out to do, and they stuck to the task, and they executed, which is most important. And they have players that can execute, as we've seen. Yeah. So having Bellingham, finishing, and having Mbappe finishing, I mean, it's frightening. As we said, our first show,
when they're on.
Yeah, when they're on, I mean, they have so much power that when they're on, they're on. And now if they start really cohesively getting more and more understanding of each other in terms of their runs, in terms of the movements. It could be a long year for everybody.
In all competitions.
And not just La Liga, but in all competitions. So hats off to Real Madrid, Barca. Again, I just feel like, a lot going nowhere. We need to finish those chances, and we need to be a little bit more clinical and a little bit more direct, and we still need to have a little bit more diversity in the way we attack. It can't be always tiki-taka right to the goal.
Yeah.
We have to have a little bit more versatility, and hopefully Barca gets it going, because as a Barca fan, that was hard to watch.
I found Barca's, you're right about the high line. I mean, like, there's a time and a place. That front three for Real Madrid is so fast. I mean, Vini and Mbappe, between the two of them, it's a dangerous game you're playing. I thought they also lacked a bit of passion.
Yeah.
I thought that actually the game lacked a little bit of passion. It's El Clasico. I mean, you got one-star players saying a bunch of stuff before the game about the opposing team. I was expecting more passion. Obviously, it was delivered in the end. The Bellingham point, that's the first game I've seen him actually be himself in a while.
Fair.
A goal and an assist, and a beautiful through ball to Mbappe for that strike. But yeah, I think Barcelona, it feels like they're looking for that identity, like you said. They're historically a tiki-taka team. They're historically that team that passes you around the park, but now they're introducing a high line, and they want to play the possession game. I don't think those two things can coexist like that.
Well, I mean, they want to stifle the team in their opposing half, right? They want to really high tempo, lose the ball, win it back right away. Have a high line, force the team to kick the ball over the top, regain possession, and then play their Barca way.
Yeah.
But when you have to know your opponent that you're playing against, this is a very, very talented, very deep Real Madrid side that can and will punish you. And we saw that. And we saw Real Madrid. They took their chances. They took it well, and they punished a disjointed Barcelona side, a team that might be, a little bit under it regarding all the games that's being played. Fighting for World Cup spots with their respective countries, and just managing minutes and managing individuals. I think it's going to be a tough year to do that with Barca right now.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into this later, but I see a lot of bad attitudes on that team. Not necessarily in the way that they're.
We said that about Real Madrid,
and we're gonna get into
results.
They're getting results, right?
Yeah.
But I see a different, there's a difference in a bad attitude. Like, we're gonna get into it in a second. Like, Vinny's bad attitude is different than somebody like Furman's bad attitude.
But
Gavi.
Vinny's bad attitude is Vini, about Vini.
Yeah,
Right.
I think their bad attitude is as a collective unit. I'm not sure. I didn't see a lot of fight, to be honest with you, until it kicked off at the end with an actual scrum. But I didn't see a lot of there was a lot of diving in that game. I don't know if you noticed that too. There was a lot of rolling around the floor, and it's like, okay, there's one way to win a game and try to compete and stay in a match, and there's another way to if you feel like this team is good enough to take it to Madrid, don't get it twisted. Take it to them. Be physical. Don't go down that route.
Embellish.
Yeah. But speaking of bad attitudes, Vini Jr was subbed off relatively early in the game, right? What about 30 to 25 minutes left into the game. The whole walk back to the bench, yelling, very upset, flailing his arms, clearly not happy with the substitution, ignores Xabi on the way out, goes down the tunnel to the room, comes back. I'm sure somebody told him to get his head straight. And then now we're in a situation where post-match, he was obviously involved in the scrum, but post-match, there's now transfer rumors. There's now a public apologies that he had on his Instagram a day later, but he did acknowledge Xabi Alonso. Whether that's intentional or not, I don't know. We're just speculating. But this is not the first time we've seen him have this bad attitude, right? He has not been a consistent starter with Xabi Alonso. He has had problems with Ancelotti, where Ancelotti last year has to tell him, hey, man, if you don't work hard, if you don't increase your work rate, you're not going to start. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that situation. obviously Vini's in the wrong as the player, but how is Real Madrid, is this sustainable if one of your biggest stars is constantly causing a fuss within the team and constantly causing infighting?
Well, I mean, listen, it's everything is how you manage it. And I'm pretty sure Xabi Alonso is going to manage this to his expertise. Having a player come off the field unhappy is normal.
It's normal.
They're human beings.
Yes.
They're going to have normal human reactions. And sometimes that's what you want to see, right? No, you don't want to see it where it's disruptive the team. You don't want to see it where it becomes a bad apple and he's making groups and he's talking negatively to the teammates. But the fact that he made a public an apology, and sometimes you have to understand that these things could be for the better. Sometimes you just have a blowout. Everybody says what's needed to be said, clear the air, put an arm around them and say, okay, listen, so do you want to move forward or do you want to leave?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's a very straightforward conversation. So sometimes these busts up are needed. Sometimes, everyone needs to express themselves and get everything off their chest in order to move forward, because you don't want to keep playing in bigger matches and as Champions League go on with a disgruntled Vinicius Jr. starting or coming on the field and he's not really as invested. So hopefully for Real Madrid's sake, it's the second part of it where they had their bust up. Words are passed. Everybody apologizes, and we move forward as a stronger team, because he is a good player.
He's a fantastic player.
He provides so much for Real Madrid. He provides a dynamic that they need, and a Vinicius that's flying on all cylinders is vital to any team, including a Real Madrid, with the football IQ that they have around him, and that he also brings to the fold. And I'm pretty sure Xabi Alonso and his team is going to manage it.
I hope so.
I think they're going to do a great job of managing it, being that Xavi was one of those players when he played. He was like
intense.
Intense, but he's also a general in the sense that he kind of managed the team in the locker room. More so off the field.
Yeah.
Because he has that kind of demeanor.
Totally.
So a guy like Vinicius and as you said, Ancelotti said his piece, and he changed from that.
He did, but I'm seeing him
went
changing.
Back into,
and now he's back to the other.
Yeah,
so that's the red flag for me.
We said that from the start because he was getting subbed off.
Yeah.
Brazil wasn't doing good.
Exactly.
So all these things are just a build up of just frustration that everybody goes through. And sometimes you need, like I said, sometimes you need the wake up call, and sometimes you take your foot off the pedal. You, like you said, social media, which we're going to touch on. You start to buy into that. You start to go out and you start to hang out more, instead of spending more time in the gym, more time around your teammates, and then you have a shift in focus, and you need someone to say, hey, slap you in the face, say, hey, you have to reshift your focus back.
Yeah.
So it's never good to see publicly, but it is something I would say as a manager, if I'm subbing a guy off, I would like to see his emotion. I would like to see his passion. I would like to see his disappointment of coming off the game. But when it's disruptive and you're walking past him and you're going straight to the change room, and then, of course, definitely one of his teams say, hey, not here.
That's what I'm saying. There's a level to it.
You go back out there. And as a man, too, you can say, no, I'm done. And he could just do his hands up, and then we could have been talking about some serious trading.
Yeah.
But the fact that he came back outside,
it's a good sign.
It's a good sign,
I guess. And Real Madrid have already announced that they're not going to suspend him. They're not going to punish him. They're not going to.
Xavi managing.
They're leaving it up to Xavi, which is I think is a good sign. And I think I have their quotes in front of me today, and Vini's apology is pretty straightforward. Today, I want to apologize to all Madridistas and for my reaction when I was substituting El Clasico. Just as I have already personally apologized to my teammates, the club, and the president during training today, I would like to do so here once again. That was on Twitter. And then you have the post-game where everybody was talking about what happened and trying to make a story out of it. And Xabi sort of diffused the situation by saying, I'll focus on a lot of the positive things from the game and, the good things from Vini. We'll talk about the reaction, of course, but I don't want to move the spotlight away from what's really important.
100%.
So that's
great.
That's what you want. That's
great.
exactly
that's what you want from your
straightforward.
leader.
Exactly. And I mean, we don't have any problem assuming how Alonso is in the room with the team. We know what kind of player he is. We saw him play.
Well, I think
Same
you could,
personality.
I think you can speculate his demeanor just from the response.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Right?
he's very
like he just calmed it down right away.
Yeah.
And say, hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna manage that, but let's not focus on the hard work that everybody put in, including Vinicius,
Yeah.
in terms of the good that he's doing. You know, and that's the thing. Sometimes when we look at a difficult moment that someone's having, with whether on the field or off the field, and we shine so much light to expose that negative part when that person has done so much positive.
Exactly.
And we kind of
Yeah.
like forgetting that.
Yeah.
So for Xavier to say that, well done, hats off, and that's a true leader.
Totally. And I think people are worried if he has controlled the group. I personally, that was a narrative I've seen a lot, whether it's on social media or online in written format. I don't believe that. I don't buy it for a second. I think that personally, me, like we've just discussed, he is a guy that strikes me as a calming but very assertive presence.
Yeah, stern, yeah.
He's a stern guy. There's transfer rumors now about Vinicius. There was I read an article about he's pushing for move in January. Don't buy that either, to be honest with you. Vinicius he's a superstar, and he's a superstar in a team full of superstars, and he's one of the guys that has that sort of prima donna makeup. It's not a bad thing. It's not a great thing, but that's just his makeup. Some superstars are like that. Some superstars are not. So I think this is one of the hardest, if not the hardest group to manage as a manager in terms of personalities. I mean, you got to go from managing Jude Bellingham to Mbappe to Vinicius. Those are three very contrasting characters.
Yep.
I think, judging by the way they've been playing, he's
Clearly.
obviously doing a good job.
Clearly.
The
The record speaks for itself.
record speaks for itself, and so does the win on Sunday. So, but let's move on to why this match was so fiery. Let's talk about what made the scrum and the fight happen. Lamine Yamal had a guest interview on a talk show, and DeRo, I cannot ask you and talk to you enough about this. You have said it time and time again on this show about why are players over-committing themselves to social media, overexposing themselves on social media, getting too involved in this world. And he had a number of comments before the game that weren't even subtly provoking Madrid.
Yeah.
They were just coming out and disrespecting the team. There are some things I thought you can say, and there are some things that just make you look bad. It's something that a fan would say. It's something that a deranged, crazy Blaugrana Barca fan would say. Like, if I read the quotes here, and this was on a YouTube channel for the Kings League, which is run by Gerard Piqué. He talked about, they rob in terms of refereeing decisions. They rob, they complain, they do things with the refs. They asked him, are you going to score at Real Madrid? He said, I've already done that. Don't you remember? I don't mind that comment. And then they asked him if he's nervous. And he goes, it's not difficult for Barca. The last time we played over there, 4-0. So I like confidence. I know that you do. I know that we both are in agreement on we enjoy when players have personalities. But you're talking about they rob games, they complain, where you're talking about last time play over there, 4-0. Bro, you're 18. Relax.
Yeah, he's very emotional. He needs to control it. I know at Barca they're not happy.
They're not happy with this at all.
Comments. He's gonna be talked to very sternly. We've seen the same comments kind of his father made for the Ballon d'Or. Yeah. It's just it's now it's consistent. Now he creates a negative light on him. Instead of being the footballer, now he's someone that just makes these outlandish comments. He needs to be controlled in social media. He's 18 years old, and who's going to control him? Equally now, as we're asked about, Xavi and Real, are they controlling the locker room? Are they controlling Vinicius? Equally could be said about Barca.
Totally.
Are they controlling Yamal? Or is he getting ahead of himself?
Does Hansi Flick have a grip on him?
Exactly. Does he have a grip, or is he just to have the reins that he feels that he could just make loose comments like this? Because for me, they're loose comments. How dare you say these things before El Clasico match? You're just adding fuel to the fire.
It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game.
It just doesn't make sense to me why he would say that, and to say, these things publicly, it just, I don't know, it baffles me. Again, I keep telling athletes, young athletes, aspiring athletes, manage yourself, be careful what you put out there in social media. It can have a very negative effect, even if you don't mean it and you're trying to be genuine. You're trying to say, like, your confidence. It's the difference between being confident and being cocky. There's a very fine line. And this sounds arrogant. This sounds cocky. And this sounds like a player that's just kind of losing himself a little bit. And I don't like to see that because Yamal, I know he has better brought up he has better upbringing than to make these kind of loose comments. It doesn't look good for his image. It doesn't look good from a branding standpoint publicly. And a player of his caliber and his pedigree, it's better to let your feet and your play do the talking and keep your mouth quiet.
100%. And like you said, this isn't the first time he's done that. There are a string of posts on social media before big games, whether it was last year's game stemming in the Champions League against Inter, the Nations League final against Portugal, recent games against Madrid. He will post on his story. And again, there's a fine line, like you said, between confidence and being cocky. And he will post like ready to win today's match or like
I gotta find out who's his publicist.
Like who's his PR?
Because I would be pulling the microphone and say, no, this interview's
just
done.
Just stop it. Take his phone. Take his phone.
Take a phone away. For sure.
We're at a point now where he is. I'd have to check. But
when you post something, it should be filtered through your PR. Yamal, if anything you're posting moving forward, please vet it through your publicist or find a publicist if you don't have one, because this clearly shows that you don't have a publicist and someone is not managing your stuff. But I hope that Barca gets a hold of that, because this is reckless talk. This is not good for a player of his caliber. He has so much ability, so much skill that you're going to lose football fans, genuine football fans, high caliber football fans, if you continue to let your emotions and you might feel that way. There's nothing wrong with you feel that way, but show it on the field.
100%.
And then when the game is over, you can talk your talk. You can talk your shit, but don't talk your shit before the game, because now you look like shit. You look like the player that now is he going to be moved from Barca? Are you disrupting the team in the locker room? Are you a negative?
Are they going to sit you out for a few games?
You create so much room for noise, right?
And I bet, like, I'm going to pull up his Instagram right now.
Did they remove it?
Well, first of all, what's crazy is that he's got 39 million followers and he runs his own account. That off the bat is... to your point, your publicist runs it, so you don't post stuff like that.
Yeah, but Ben, this is that day and age, right? These kids are invested in social media, right?
I understand, but like
it is what it is, right?
When was El Clasico? Because he's deleted 128,000 comments on the latest post after El Clasico, and what is it? It's people talking, crying. It's comments.
Real Madrid fans saying keep talking.
While cyberbullying is never right, he stood there in the interview and he allowed this to happen. What was the verdict on Yamal when he was showing up in Spain at 16, 17 years old? I'm pretty sure the entire world loved him, even the Madridistas. Mm-hmm. They all thought he was this beautiful thing for the game. We have another world-class superstar that's just a young kid. He enjoys playing. He loves playing the game. He loves scoring, and he's really good. He's really fun to watch. And then we gave him worldwide fame, and not to his detriment. It's not his fault that he became this global superstar overnight and got a little cocky. Mm-hmm. He got a little cocky. That's not his fault. But what is the people around him's fault is them letting him go on these shows, them letting him make these posts on social media that allow the crazy idiot fans to flood his comments with 128,000 messages full of, how's that now? Take that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say idiot fans. I would say you're giving them a reason to come back at you,
but some of them are going too far. Sure.
Well, for sure. That's gonna happen, because a lot of them that do that aren't really fans, and they're just. But my whole point is you're giving people the reason now.
Exactly.
Right. And you're giving them ammunition for them to come at you. And then I want to touch on the comments that he made, especially towards the referee and officiating. How are you going to get a call now after you're calling out the refs, and you want me to make calls in your favor? It's just not a smart It's just not smart decision. And it's early doors too. Like we're 2 months in league and you're going to make these kind of harsh comments. It's not good for La Liga. Yeah. It's not good for reffing, especially with all the scandals that's coming out
with the Negreira case.
With betting and
charged
this and
with
that.
Corruption.
And corruption. It's like, and you're going to throw comments out there. Come on, Yamal, be a little bit more calculated on your comments. Be a little. Your team needs to step up. It's not a good look for Barca, who strives to have a clean image.
Yeah.
Any players that come in, we've seen it with the Ronaldinhos. We've seen it with high profile players that we've let go because of maybe a lack of professionalism, whatever the case is. And you're so young, you have a bright future ahead of you. Just focus on the field, man. Let your play do the talking. Let's see you shine the way everybody, as you mentioned, the young kid that came into this league, humble, ready to work hard,
totally.
Put Barca on your back, and after you hold trophies, then you could do the talking.
And he will be successful. But it's comments like the referee one that you just brought up. It's like that is a conversation I've heard in the pub a million times between two guys that are 16 beers deep, talking about their team that they hate.
16?
Yeah, because exactly. They're 2 guys they've been pounding all day. Yeah. They've been there for the early games. Now they're there for their afternoon game. And they hate a team that's playing. They said they get all the calls. They get this, they get that. And they're buckled and they're stumbling. That's where I hear that conversation, man. I don't want to hear it from Lamine Yamal. All due respect.
You're like looking for excuses for why you lose before you even lost.
But it's just unprofessional. And a couple episodes ago, we talked about, remember when he was injured and how they were mismanaging him with Spain, and how if he says, I want to play, you go, well, you can't, because, you're still growing into your full prime as a young man. You need to rest. Scientifically, this is not good for you. In the same vein, he's 18 years old, man. Give him a publicist that's 40, okay? And be like, you shouldn't do that post. Maybe let's hold off on doing the interview with the ex-Barca player who's going to egg you on and make you say shit like that. Right. So let's hold off a bit. I think a publicist is so needed, especially now. And in his case, why is he allowed to run his own account with 39 million followers? You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for people to build off of their social network because they'll know they'll ask questions. They'll try to push buttons now, and moving forward with him in front of media definitely needs to be vetted, and definitely needs to be because there's a big concern there. There definitely is a big concern there. And then after getting into it, making comments, dude, you said what you said. You took your licks. Now you just humble yourself and get off the field.
Well, he's getting off the field. He's telling guys to come and fight him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing that you can say right now. There's nothing, Yamal, you can say. You just walk off the field, show class at the end, and say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I said my shit, and you guys put it in my face.
Be a grown man. Take it.
Exactly. Take your licks and go. Get back on the training field and say, you know what? I messed up. I shouldn't have said what I had to say. Apologize to your teammates first. Apologize to Barcelona and the fans first for making those comments publicly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then carry on with it.
Yeah, 100%. And the last point I want to touch on this thing is, like, here's the problem too, is like Dani Carvajal after the game was the first one to go up to him and give him one of these because Yamal was, talking. And I don't have a problem with Carvajal getting his lick back. The problem is that we're getting into an era. I don't know if you remember this, like a couple years ago in 2012 and 2013, El Clasico was so heated that it was bringing problems to the Spanish national team. And the only reason they overcame those problems is because they had characters like Iniesta, Xavi Alonso, Puyol. They had leaders like that. This is going to happen now. And who are your leaders going to be? You think Pedri or Dean Huijsen or Lamine Yamal or Dani Carvajal? He might, but anybody else that's 25 and under is going to be like, well, I don't think we should put aside our differences and play for Spain and really believe it. That's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem. And Spain are too good to be dealing with this shit right now.
Yeah, 100%.
They're too good.
100%. And because, like you said, you cause conflict. A big brunt of the Spanish national team is made up of Barca and Real Madrid players.
Yeah.
Comments like that is going to create more problems on the national team going into a World Cup. And you definitely don't want that. And even for the Spanish FA, I'm pretty sure they're going to have some words with Yamal and saying, hey, tone it down a little bit.
100%. I mean, like, again, they've already had these problems, but they had people to deal with it. Now, I don't see anybody on that team be like, there's no Ramos to be like, let's just put aside our differences and win this World Cup and win this Euro or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. And they're in their prime right now. They're probably the best team in the world. Mm-hmm. Them in Argentina. That's fair. Heading into 2026. Let's move on. Our last topic of the day. Juventus, the merry-go-round of managers at the Bianconeri continues as they sack Igor Tudor after only 7 months in charge. There were some abysmal results as of late, but your overarching thoughts. I mean, here's a situation. I'll give you a little synopsis because this is my team. We've gone from Allegri. I'm not happy about it. Tissues? You got tissues? Go ahead. No tissues. Grab the box. Get out. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. For the last 5 months, for the last 3 years, they have gone from.
You went from 5 months to 3 years.
I fucked up. They went from last couple of years, they've gone from Allegri to Motta to Igor Tudor, and now they're reportedly closing in on Luciano Spalletti, the former Italian coach who was fired for Gattuso. The Italians love to rotate. It's a merry-go-round of them when manager, Italian, national team, club team. According to Tutto Juventus have offered Spalletti a 1-year contract that will automatically be extended if he secures a top 4 finish and qualification for the Champions League. It's a performance-based approach that reflects the club's confidence in his ability to deliver results quickly while maintaining a long-term vision for stability. No, don't clap. Don't clap.
Why?
Because they only give managers 1 year and it never works out.
But you know what?
Motta, Tudor, and now it's going to be Spalletti.
I think players' contracts should be like that. I think players' contracts shouldn't be based off of potential, but off of production. And the right to be said about coaches. There's standards. It's Juventus.
I disagree with that.
Really? A team like Juventus?
We're in agreement in terms of the standards of the club, but it doesn't matter if you are...
Yeah, but you
Pep Guardiola, you need longer than 7 months to do a team. I don't think I like Tudor. That's fair. But Thiago Motta was fired after 5 months of play.
Okay, hold on. The ask of the contract, I think, is spot on. Now, the term of the contract regarding the months, maybe they could say
1 year.
Maybe they could say a 2 year. We're giving you 2 years.
That's fine
to develop this. Yeah. 7 months, I agree. That's a little bit harsh.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at Juventus, they've just spent how much of millions of dollars. Like, you have to figure this out. This is our standard of the club. We demand excellency. This is a historic club that is excellency is Juventus, right? We haven't seen it in many, many years. They're getting to a point of no return now where it's like, this is the contracts we're doing now for coaches coming in. Do I think 7 months a little bit harsh? 100%. It's hard to come in, change the DNA of players, change the DNA of the club, get the players to buy in. That takes time, especially at that level. So obviously they're willing to support and do whatever it takes to make sure that happens within that 7 month period. But man, it's tough to see Juventus struggling like this, man.
Are they willing to do what it takes?
I don't know.
In my opinion, I don't think so. I think they say everything they put on paper is like, yeah, I'm good with this. I'm down to do what I need to do to make this happen. I want to get to the top. All right. How about let's spend some effing money, dude? How about we instead of buying a player for 60 and then loaning him out the next season for 3 million euros, let's just keep him. Okay. Tell me this right now. I just mentioned him. Dean Huijsen. Okay. Starting center back for Real Madrid and for Spain. Where was he a year and a half ago? They sold him to Bournemouth, dude. To Bournemouth. So, for me, Mr. Owner guy says, oh, this is what I want.
No,
dude.
is that the player or is that the environment?
It's the owner. It's the sporting directors, it's the ownership and the upper management. Because in 2019, they went out and they bought Cristiano Ronaldo. And that was the most expensive transfer in their history, and without a doubt the biggest transfer in their history. And for as much as they paid him in wages, and for as much as they paid Madrid for the transfer fee, they got that in equal parts or more in jersey sales in 1 day, and ticket sales and revenue and TV deals and ads. Serie A blew up as a league after he came there. Lukaku came there. Lautaro Martinez became a player. Players began to go to Italy, and the league flourished. But Juve as a team, never built a team around him to win. They had a really good team. They needed more pieces. That's the way the game works. And they didn't do that. And then he left, and now they're spending money on players who, as much as I love Francisco Conceição, as much as I love Dusan Vlahovic, Juve can't score. They can barely defend right. They can't create anything. Like, our boy Jonathan David is in that situation right now. And I don't blame Jonathan David for not scoring goals because it's not his fault in the system. They don't create anything. When Weston McKennie's on the pitch, guess what happens? Fuck all. This team is in a bad spot, and the only what's making it worse is not letting somebody sit in their philosophy. If I hire Dwayne De Rosario to coach my team, I'm not going to fire him 4 months later because we have a 500 record.
Yeah, but I
have to let you do your thing.
Yeah, but I have to agree to those terms. So if I come in there and I say no, but so you're very clear in what the ask is. So if you're a manager, you're coming in there, you know what the expectation is.
Sure.
It's up to you to say, yeah, okay, I'll sign that. Or it's up to you to say, no, you know what? I want to turn that 7 months into a year or 2 years because this is what realistic what I need.
Sure.
Or if I'm coming in for 7 months, then I want to get rid of this player, that player, that player, and I want you to start spending to get X, Y, and Z.
Sure.
I have to have full control in order for it to work out for within a 7 month period.
Okay.
Right. I don't know if those terms have been negotiated, but it still goes down to the fact of if players are leaving the club and doing well, is it the culture of the club or re-identifying what the culture of the club is, where they're going wrong, how is their developed? You have to look from the bottom up.
Sounds like we're talking about Man U right now. That's how bad this is.
But Man U's getting results now.
Exactly. Right? Now they're on the upswing. But my whole thing is that I'm not too sure if it's culture, but you're talking about terms. They gave Spalletti terms. Good. I love terms. I'm a sucker for terms. Demand results out of a manager. It's their job to get them, and it's their job to do the team. However, when it comes to timeline, if you're only going to give me a year, you're going to give me money to spend. If you're going to give me 2 years, I don't need as much money because I'll be able to implement my tactics, my mindset, my approach to the game into this team. They're doing nothing. They're just giving him a year. All this is smoke and mirrors, okay? I want top 4. I want the title. I want this. You can want anything you want, but if you really want it, I want to see it. I want you to give. They hired Thiago Motta, who was the up-and-coming Italian coach at the time, who led Bologna, of all teams, to Champions League qualification. That's a huge accomplishment. They gave him 5-6 months. Okay? You got to give him more time. You got to, look what happens with Man U. They've waited out a horrible, horrible first season from Amorim. They waited him out at the back end of last season. They waited out not winning 2 games in a row for 40 matches. FA Cup, blah, 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 all this BS. They waited out all the hardships. And now, hopefully, they've won 3 games in a row. Hopefully it'll be 4. Things are looking positive. These things take time. You cannot rebuild a team like Juventus from the ground up in 1 year. And I don't even think Luciano Spalletti's the right guy to do it. Igor Tudor is the first foreign manager they've hired, I think, in 20 years.
Oh, maybe that might be it.
And guys like Didier Deschamps were on the list. Zinedine Zidane was a front runner for the job. And they went with Massimo Allegri. Okay?
Well, again, I don't know. Did they go with Allegri because of, or was that the only person that you've mentioned that agreed to that terms? Maybe Zidane came and said, okay, I agree to the terms, but I also want X, Y, and Z. And they're like, they couldn't come to a common ground.
If they can't agree with Zinedine Zidane, then I think this club is...
Well, there's something wrong there. I mean,
it is
how many Champions Leagues with Real. I mean,
as a player, as a coach,
as a coach, pedigree. But I can't see a guy like Zidane coming in and agreeing to a contract like that. Can you?
Not now. No, not to this. Would you agree to this?
No.
If you were in his shoes, would you agree to that?
Can you see anybody coming in for a 7-month term as a manager?
Well, the offer's a year, but he only got 7 months.
Right.
So no. Why would I do that?
Why would I change my whole life
for a year to move to Torino for a year? But
not bad. I mean,
it's not bad. I'm not disrespecting. Italy's a beautiful. I love it there. But
to undertake the headaches and maybe potentially not get what you've mentioned, maybe not get the free reins to say, okay, I want to get rid of this player, that player, and have the freedom.
Yeah.
I can't see a lot of top managers going for that.
Well, the problem is like they're trying to find a short-term fix, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and then eventually they're going to be in a rebuilding zone, and then they're going to have to hire somebody for 5 years to rebuild it anyway. So why don't we get ahead of that and hire somebody for 3 years or 2 years, give them time, and at the end of 2 years, it's a win-win situation. It's a win-win, but it's also a lose-lose because they're not a good team. They can't pull together results. So either you don't do that for 2 more years, or you give a guy enough time to get you back up to the top level by the next year. I think like this team is forgetting that it takes risks to win shit. It takes risks to win the Serie A. It takes risks to do well in the Champions League. We're talking about a team that won 8, 9 titles in the spin, but they haven't won a Champions League since 1997, 98. So something has to change.
Mm-hmm. And, maybe we'll see a similar to Man U. Maybe they're just have a rough start, and maybe you're going to see towards the middle end, you're going to start to see them, gel and start to put together some results. But something needs to happen.
Well,
again.
I'll tell you something right now, and I really hope they do, because for the sake of our boy Jonathan David, this is a World Cup year. We can't be perusing around in a bad Juve team, not getting results and not scoring, not playing well with your teammates. Like, we need him sharp.
That goes without
selfishly
saying.
As a Canadian, I have to look at it.
I've said that many times, the importance and the value that a player like Jonathan David brings to our national team program. He is right now our go-to guy in terms of finishing and scoring goals and building our attack. And again, if he's struggling at the club level, that's only going to hinder his performance at the national level. And I hope it doesn't. But Juve even needs they desperately need a strong Jonathan Davids, because he can impact that team tremendously. They just have to figure out ways to get him the ball in dangerous areas, and to support him in any means necessary to get the end result. And they're not creating goal scoring opportunities as much as they should. They're struggling defensively, so it's a very lopsided team right now that is lacking a little bit of passion, heart, and a little bit of identity.
Perfectly said. Well, let's wrap her up. Thank you for listening to episode 8 of DeRo and the Diehard. We'll be back next Friday and all after that with the best soccer content north of the border. And last thing before I give it to DeRo, go Blue Jays.
Let's go Jays. That Jays. Let's go.